Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yep. And you know what that means? It's Plant Chat Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
I know. Woo.
So we're doing kind of a redo.
Yeah, we're totally
of today's
updating.
plant.
Yep.
Yeah. So we did one of our first plant chats we ever did was on the Shasta daisy.
Yeah, it wasn't even in bloom, and we did give some care, but it was like a 2 or 3 minute video.
Yeah,
we were just kind of learning.
Yeah, we were feeling it out, seeing what worked, what didn't. So we're redoing that, and today we're updating.
We have a lot more to share about Shasta daisy.
Oh yeah, and some plant care and all sorts of great stuff. You know, but before we get into the plant, if you want to know more about gardening, if you just want to learn more, you feel like there's so much more to learn, we have our book, First Time Gardener, Growing Plants and Flowers. It's on Amazon. We'll have the link down below in the description there, and go ahead and check it out because there's so much information in there.
So we've got a lot of reviews on Amazon from people that have been gardening for years that have said that our book, even though it's for the first time gardener, that it has been helpful for them. So we're so thankful for all of those reviews. Thank you to everyone who's left a review.
Yep, thanks guys.
And yeah, check it out.
Yep. So with that, let's get to the plant.
Yeah.
So guys, here we are in our front yard, and here are our Shasta daisies. We've got a couple here. They're kind of in a row as you're seeing them right here.
This is, yeah, there's one here. There's a little guy there that we probably will move this fall.
Yeah.
And then we've got more over there.
Yep, underneath the window there.
We have more in the backyard.
Now, funny story, really quick. All those over there, those Shasta daisies, came from these 3 plants right here when we divided them. We've already divided these at least once. And we took multiple chunks out of these and placed them over there. And both areas, they are thriving. They're doing really well. Now, Shasta daisies are also known as, scientifically, the botanical name, Leucanthemum X, because it's a hybrid, X superbum. And so they used to be known as a chrysanthemum X superbum, but their name got changed botanically and now they're Leucanthemum. So Shasta daisies are in the Asteraceae family. They're beautiful plants, as you can see. And so the characteristic of a Shasta daisy is usually these white petals, these ray petals coming out, and then the inner disc of that flower being a bright, striking yellow. And as with most Asteraceae family plants and their flowers, they actually have 2 different kinds of flowers in the flower that you see. You have the ray flowers that come out in a ray, like the sun rays, and they come this way, they come out of the center of the plant. And then you have the disc flowers, part of the disc or the center, and those are a different kind of flower. And so that's a really neat fact to know about Asteraceae families in general. Now, Shasta daisies, they love full sun and they get a lot of it right here. And they also need well-draining, nutrient-rich soil, but they need regular water too. They do have to be on a regular watering schedule. Now, they don't need a lot once they get established, but they do need some to keep growing. And obviously, if you want long stems like you see here, you're gonna need to water them on a semi-regular basis. I mean, you just can't set them and forget them. So something to keep in mind when you're looking to add these to your garden. These plants grow in zones 4 through 10, so they've got some range. They're kind of a versatile plant. They grow really well here in the Pacific Northwest, and you can see they're just profuse. Now, they do need to be deadheaded once the flowers wither, and like this one right here, and we've got a couple of them. You got to deadhead them to keep them flowering, because what you can see is once we take this flower off, there's another flower bud right underneath there. So we're gonna need to cut this flower off down here, and we'll show you how to do that in just a minute, to make sure that this flower comes in and actually flowers. If you don't deadhead them and they go to seed, they're done. That's what we've noticed with ours anyway. So as you can see, we've got a couple different sizes going on here of these mature plants. These have been here for about 3 or 4 years now. But in general, Shasta daisies will get 2 to 4 feet tall, and they'll get about 2 or more feet wide. They're a mounding herbaceous perennial, so they spread. They grow on a crown across the soil, and then all these stems come up out of that crown to what you see right here with all these flowers. So if you're wondering when you're gonna add these to your garden, when are they gonna flower? Well, they flower pretty much profusely, and especially if you keep them up and you keep them deadheaded, they'll flower all the way from the very early time of summer all the way into the fall. So they can flower a really long time. Now you can see here, these flowers, these Shasta daisies, They have kind of a single type of flower. It's not like super full. You just see that one level of petals on there. We're not really sure what kind of Shasta daisies these are because we threw away the tags years ago. But we know they are Shasta daisies. And so there's a lot of different kinds out there. And I wanted to tell you about the flower form because there's double types of forms of Shasta daisies where you just have just a mass of all these petals, and then you still have that center, that yellow center, but it's just a lot fuller of a flower. And then there's also different kinds of cultivars and varieties that have more frilly types of ray leaves, or they're kind of curly, and we actually have one in the back that we have this year that we still have to plant. We're going to show you that in a little bit. So there's a lot of different forms of the flowers themselves, and also they come in different shades of white. There's lighter shades of white, there's darker shades of white, there's some whites that are more creamy looking than, you know, a pure white like this one. So there are some options out there for you to fit your needs in your garden for what you want, for how you want it to look. So guys, one more thing I wanted to tell you about these plants and their plant facts is they are susceptible to a couple of different pests out in your garden. They're susceptible to slugs and snails. They will come up early in the season and into the beginning of the summer and eat the leaves. They will chew on the leaves. So look for slug trails, look for eaten leaves and holes in your leaves. So also, Shasta daisies are susceptible to aphids. So keep your eye out for those little potato-looking bugs. Now, Shasta daisies, if they get water too much or if they're under really wet conditions for too long, they are susceptible to different types of fungal rots. So keep an eye out for that along the stems and at the base of the crown of the plant to make sure that there's no type of rot going on the leaves or stems. If you see it in the flowers, make sure to cut it off and get rid of it because you don't want it to spread throughout the rest of the plant. And guys, we want to make sure we let you know that you can fertilize these plants. They would love to get a shot of fertilizer every week or every other week, depending on if you're using a soluble, a water-based fertilizer that you just put down every week, or if you're putting down a granulated fertilizer that just gives them a little fertilizer every time they're watered. It's pretty much up to you, but they will react really well to a regular fertilizing schedule. Now you can see here, we have these here, and we don't really fertilize these. We've got mulch around them. We use arborist mulch, and they're getting a lot of the nutrients that they need to stay nice and healthy just pretty much from that and regular watering.
Okay, you guys, so Sean just finished talking to you about just general care and how to keep your Shastas just beautiful all season long. Oh, we got some pollinators over here too. The pollinators love this plant, by the way. We've seen tons of different types of bees. We've actually seen butterflies. Birds will kind of pick at insects on here and whatnot so they can contribute to pollination. So lots of options. So that's so cool. So actually Shastas can be used in a pollinator garden. So that's an option. You know what else is cool with Shasta daisies? You may have noticed, you know, obviously they're white. They look beautiful and bright. You can use them in a moon garden. So if you're designing a moon garden with all different types of white flowers or silvery foliage type flowers, this would be a great option. So other ways you can see how we use our Shastas is kind of along this border kind of that surrounds our front yard garden bed. It loves this location, like Sean mentioned. It is just huge and beautiful. We have really long stemmed flowers, so they're great for cut flowers. Some people you may have heard before have talked about the smell of Shasta daisies, like they have a really bad pungent smell, almost kind of poop smelling. We have never had that problem with our Shasta daisies. At least I haven't noticed. I think it depends on the sensitivity of your nose. I think they smell fine. We've used them as cut flowers in the house before and they've been great. So maybe check into different cultivars or different varieties out there when you're looking at Shasta daisies and see if they have some kind of smell that maybe you're sensitive to. So that's just something to keep in mind. Kind of weird, right? But some people do talk about that. Okay, so other landscape uses, you can put them in containers. We say why when you can put them in the ground and they look like this. In a container, since this is a herbaceous perennial, it is going to grow and you're going to need to transplant it probably after at least one growing season, maybe two. So you can at least move it into your garden at that point if you want to, if it's in your zone. So other landscape uses could be as a focal point in your garden. As you can see, this kind of became a focal point. I don't know if we intended it to be that. It's kind of front and center and big and bright right here. And again, like I think I mentioned borders and maybe along walkways. We've seen a lot of different ways to landscape with Shasta daisies. So as long as your companion plants that are surrounding it are compatible, There's so many ways to design and use Shasta daisies in your garden. So let's talk about companion plants. So for that, we need to kind of bounce around the yard a little bit. One of the plants, or a couple plants over here you can see, we've got gladiolus coming up. So on either side, actually it's kind of in the back now since this plant has grown so big. So we've got, that's a great companion. It's fun because the Shastas bloom first, the glads usually come up, depending on when you planted them, they'll come up after that. We've got coneflowers coming in everywhere, so that's a great companion. We actually have a juga all along, not really very attractive on that side, but we've got lots of ajuga over here, so that creates kind of a multi-season interest, so that's fun. One of our favorite companions for Shastas is lavender. Look how beautiful this combination of colors is. This is an English lavender, and we've had these together here for quite a few years now. In fact, this made an appearance in our book that we told you about earlier. So we love how they complement each other. The different shape of the flowers are really cool because you've got this tall, spiky look and then like these flat, daisy looking flowers. So that's kind of a fun combo. So we're in a different part of our front yard garden. This is a border right in front of our house. And you can see we designed this to be just very colorful, different sizes and shapes of flowers. We've got crocosmia, which is just beautiful. We love this bulb. But right below it, we've got Shasta daisies, and kind of in front of that, we've got campanula. This is a smaller bellflower. So we love it almost looks kind of red, white, and blue, but this is more of obviously a purplish color. So these plants grow very well together, and we've been super happy with how productive they've been and how easy maintenance they've been for the last probably 3 to 4 years we've had these planted here. So now we've got a few flowers to deadhead, and again, we're gonna show you how to do that. But you can see it's kind of a little, we're still kind of growing these guys down here. They're not probably getting as much sun as the ones on that end. So you can see they're a little smaller. But in the very end here, we've got our hydrangea. And again, these all grow, oh yeah, we've got vinca everywhere. We kind of need to pull some of that out, but we love all the colors and everything when they're all in bloom together. It looks gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. So guys, really quick, we wanted to show you how to deadhead these and to continue their blooming into the season, right? So you can see we've got a couple of daisy flowers here that can be, there's another one right here, they can be cut back. They're withering, they've lost a lot of their color. They're pretty much done. So you can see this one is actually really withered. It's curling those petals down. This one's losing and fading its color. So to deadhead these, we're gonna use our classic cut Corona hand pruners here, and we'll have a link down below if you wanna check those out too. We love these. These are my favorite. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here. This one looks like it's on the edge, so we can show this one. And so we're gonna come down, and we're gonna come down and follow this stem back to the next flower, which is right here. And there's another one down here too, down below right there. But we're gonna encourage the plant on this stem to grow at this point. So we're gonna remove this part of the stem down to that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the pruners right below there, or actually right above that stem with that flower bud, and I'm just gonna prune that off. And now we've removed that, we've deadheaded it, and now what we're gonna do is we're telling the plant to grow from this point here, we're telling it to grow and to develop this flower on this stem. And that's it. So that's all there is to it. So, and we can continue to do the same thing here. Now on this one, we've got multiple flowers on the same stem. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this flower off, I'm gonna come down, because this flower on this next stem, down the stem, we want to keep that because it's still doing good, still fine, nice and healthy. So I'm just going to cut right above that, and there we go. Yep. And you can just continue to do that. There's a couple other ones I can get in here and do the same thing with, but this is how you deadhead your Shasta daisies. Now, if you want at the end of the season to collect the seeds, what you would do is you would leave the flowers alone, let them wither, let them dry out, and then you would come in after they've dried out. There's no more, you can feel it, they're just super dry and they're dead. At that point, the seeds have developed in these areas, in this disc area, this is where the flower develops the seeds. You're gonna collect these, you're gonna cut these off, and you're gonna collect these flower heads, and this is where you're gonna pull these apart and collect the seeds to plant later.
Okay, you guys, we wanted to show you one last Shasta daisy that we haven't actually planted yet. So this is called Sweet Daisy Birdy. It's a really cute little flower. This is a Shasta daisy. These flowers get about 5 inches wide. So that's cool. They're gonna, now once they're mature, they should get to a height of 18 to 24 inches tall as a total mature plant. This is a 2021 AAS, which is All America Selections, winning perennial of the year. So we're really excited that they sent this to us and we get to add this to our garden. We haven't planted it yet, even though we really want to, because we're just about finished with our terrace behind us here. So those of you that have been following along, we're almost done. So we've got a lot of plants ready to go up there, and this will be one of them, or these 2 plants will be added. So stay tuned for that, you guys. Okay, you guys, so that's our update and refresh of our Shasta Daisy plant chat. So we hope that was really helpful.
Yeah, a lot more information on this one, and the plant's in flower. It's flowering.
I know,
so
that always helps.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed that, and if you're growing Shasta daisies in your garden, you know how amazing they are. So we hope that you're able to keep them growing and thriving for years.
Yep. And guys, leave any comments and questions down below for us. We love hearing from you. And make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already to make sure that you keep up with our latest videos.
You know, and we also forgot to mention, stay tuned this fall. We're going to show you how to divide and transplant these Shasta daisies, because this one's going to need it. So thank you for watching and for being here today, you guys.
Thanks for being here.
Come join us on our Saturday morning live tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be talking about edible flowers. So see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.